a close look at. I did have my own setup, but this might be better. So I think I'll look at that. And then we found this little link, how to make a sand art jar. You know, I came back from Uluru with red soil. Well, I want to do something with it. And this video could be the answer, how to make sand art jars. Of course, to do that, we'd have to work out what glass we would use for that exact notion. Then I saw this. I don't know what the crack this is. Put aluminium foil in the toilet. You'll be surprised by the result. Could be a troll video, but it's worth having a little look-skis at. And if we get through all those, old favorite TB Toothboy from Ghost Town Living will entertain us with this video, 3D scanning the abandoned mines of Cerro Gordo. That's the plan. Hope you can hang out for a while. Stick back, stick around. This feels like a little kind of, I don't know, what's the word? Not lousy. Feels like a little less. It's hard to explain because we came off a really fun stream yesterday, the Tracer 7 Years Gone stream, and this just feels like a letdown after that. You know, we had such a good time yesterday, drank some Jack, listened to music, had good reminiscences, and now we're watching how to mine Bitcoin on a Raspberry Pi. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like a little bit of a downskis. But either way, I'm here to hang out for a little while. I see 21 viewers. Okay, I'm going to reference this every time it happens. I'm going to say the bulk of those viewers, where are they coming from? Oh, it just dropped down to 9. Forget that, cancel that. There is one viewer on Rumble. Rumble, are you there? Rumble, can you say something? Rumble, you're a jungle to me. Let me just check on Stream Ninja. Okay, it says it's there. All right, cool. Just checking the chat there on the Rumble machine. I had something else I was going to say. And if we wanted to, we could talk crypto. I remember I started talking yesterday, or I mentioned I wouldn't mind having a discussion about the Pi Network. Because whenever I open my Delta, which is my tracking app for my crypto assets, Pi seems to be running off the scales. I've got 3,000 of them from pressing a button on my phone every 24 hours. That's literally how you got this crypto. And it's currently telling me those 3,204 Pi is worth $432,000. 400, that's almost $500,000. That can't be right. Of course it is not, because Pi has not reached mainnet. However, on the 20th of February, it does launch to the mainnet. Of course, it will not launch at that price. What was the dollar price there on the actual Pi token? And it's just refreshed. And like I said, it's gone up. That's $135 a token. Shit. I believe CoinMarketCap has it listed. Let me just take a little deviation here and have a little look-skis. Let's go to the Pi Network. Here it is. So price is not being tracked as yet because it's not on mainnet. So where is this price coming from on Delta? But they are going to be listing it on OKX on the 20th of February. And look at that, 95% of the community is bullish on this. There was conversation a little whiles ago about this. I remember people were saying, that's a scam, dude. That's a KYC scam. You're gonna have to prove your identity. It's okay to press a button on your phone every 24 hours, but as soon as it comes time to take those tokens into your own custodial wallet, they're gonna ask you to prove yourself and identify yourself. And I was always like, you know what? You got to prove yourself when you go and get a job somewhere. They pay you to do things. You got to prove who you are for them to pay you. What's the difference? So I KYC'd and I got through it all. I mean, it was a pretty rigorous. Yeah, I'll say this: it was a fair amount of steps to go through to get to that, but I got through it, and my Pi is all migrating to the mainnet, of which then it becomes locked. I've locked my Pi for 3 years. So I guess it doesn't really matter what it launches at, but it's only a few days away, so it's something worth kind of tracking, keeping in the back of your mind. If this thing launches even if it launches at half of the, and I don't know where Delta's pulling this from, but Delta's telling me it's worth $134 per token due to the bearish community sentiment right now. But even if it launches at half of that, that's still $200,000. So let me just say, I've never seen my portfolio of crypto worth $551,000 ever before. And the bulk of that comes from the Pi Network. Definitely worth keeping your eyes on, keeping it peeled. 10 hours ago, this person said, Pi Network is at a crucial turning point with the community eagerly awaiting the mainnet launch, potential price movements, and its impact on the crypto space. The trouble with this is when you go searching, check this out. And I tried to remember this yesterday, but I got it all wrong. When you go searching Pi Network on the tubes of you, look at this crap. Look at what comes up, dude. Pi Network. Hey, there's my tracer stream. What? Why has it got my tracer? Go back a second. Oh, so that's the re-upload of the stream from yesterday, but just because I had a live button next to it, I thought I was still live on the same stream. No, I'm not. So when you go to see these Pi videos, it's all just flaming AI bots. Look.
What's up sa inyo mga katropa? Kamusta kayo?
Or it's this crap, unwatchable.
If you've been following my videos, you know I talked about Pi Network price after mainnet.
And you'd also know I am not a real human. I am a robot. So it's very difficult. Super difficult to learn anything about this because it's just filled with utter garbage online.
Welcome to the Crypto Educate channel, where we break down the wild world of digital currencies with a mix of hard-hitting news, unconventional insights,
and no human interaction whatsoever. Awesome. That's exactly what we want when we go to YouTube. We don't go to AI Tube. All this AI shit should be moved to another platform, I reckon. That includes Jay Boston's digital agency.
Alex, like everybody else in the world, had heard a lot of hype around.
It's supposed to be YouTube. It's meant to be you. You broadcast you. You can't make videos on AI. You can't. If there should be a separate section on YouTube that's dedicated to AI crap. And if you don't mind watching 20 videos all AI generated, then you can go to that segment. But if you want to watch a human, you come to YouTube. Broadcast you. I'm not going to rant and rave, but I'm going to rant and rave. Huh? Was that an AI glitch? No, that was me being real. What is the Pi Network? Pi Network is a social cryptocurrency developer platform and ecosystem designed for widespread accessibility. I got to tell you, I didn't even look into what Pi was. I just heard that you press a button on your phone every 24 hours and they give it to you. Much like I didn't look into sweat economy. I just went, I got to press that and start walking. Fine. Much like I didn't look into, dude, in the space of time that we've been sitting here, my portfolio has jumped up to $756,000 worth. I just mentioned before, I've never seen 500,000. I'm now seeing 700,000, all because of the Pi Network. Is that too bright? $756,000. The Pi, and of course, this is not an accurate price, but I'm just saying the community sentiment is an indicator. It enables users to mine and transact Pi using a mobile-friendly interface while supporting applications built within its blockchain ecosystem. That's a long freaking sentence. I'm not going to read that. It's too difficult. Self-reported circulating supply is 5.9 billion Pi. Total supply is 5.96, so it's all circulating, but it's not on an open mainnet yet. OKX to list Pi for spot trading on the 20th of February, folks. If you want to trade this, OKX is pleased to announce the listing of Pi on our spot trading markets. Please take note of the following deets. Pi deposits will open at 2:45 a.m. Oh, you can already deposit it right now. That's already happening. February 12th. Call auction take place at 7 a.m. On February 20th. Pi USDT spot trading will open at 8 a.m. on February 20th. And withdrawals will open. Withdrawals are already open? Wow. This will be one to watch. Let me just tell you, this will be one. If you're around, watch this shit live. I'm not going to... Well, I don't know what timing. Because my Pi is going to be locked, I'm not going to bother watching. But this will be pamping and damping and pumping and dumping. This will be interesting to sit back and look at. Many people will make a lot of money, and many people will lose a lot of money on this, for sure. Here are the rules for the spot trading opening. Order limits. In order to protect traders from price volatility, at the opening of spot trading, OKX will impose the following restrictions during the first 5 minutes. No market orders allowed. Interesting. No one can exceed 10,000 USDs. Oh, that's okay. So that'll get sniped then, won't it? They'll just have bots that'll do multiple $10,000 buys. Each user's maximum net position size must not exceed that. Oh, interesting. How are they going to do this? These restrictions will be lifted after the first 5 minutes of trading. So after 5 minutes, it's open starter for anybody to do whatever they damn well want. Yo. Oh no, I thought that was, sorry, forget that. Price limits. If a spot index is available for this trading pair, OKX will create the price limit. Specific price limit rules are as follows. This doesn't mean, I don't understand any of this. This is all gibberish to me. Parameters X, Y, and Z. About call auctions. Call auction mechanism will be used for spot listing of Pi USDT. Call auction period will last for 1 hour. OKX operates a call auction mechanism that allows you to submit, buy, and sell orders at your desired price according to trading parameters. So where are you going to get those prices from is what I'm wondering. Let's open up the Delta app. Delta Crypto. Because this is, I'm wondering this is pulling... Where is this pulling in the price that I'm seeing? This is the tracker I use. Doesn't it just kind of just... Oh, it's only an app. I thought it might have been a website as well. I guess the way to work that out will be to find out where the contract address comes from. Hey, San, how you doing on DLive? Hello, San. What's cracking? How's DLive Town? My Eunice, wow! We're just taking a quick look here at the Pi Network. Are you involved with Pi crypto? On the 3 days from now, you should be interested. There'll be things that, like I said, this will be definitely one to watch. This will be interesting. In order to maintain an orderly market for all users and to limit disruptive trading experiences, we've decided that 1, the total value of each user's buy orders during a call auction must not exceed 50,000 USD, and 2, during the last 5 minutes before call auction ends, users can still place orders but cannot cancel or modify. Okay. In order to provide more trading info, following the end of the call auction, OKX will display the project team's opening price at the commencement of continuous trading as the initial price of the trading chart. OKX will display the project team's opening price at the end of the call auction. The project team's opening price. So they're going to set the price? So that's after the first 5 minutes. The dev team will say this is what it's worth. The project team's opening price is provided by the token project team, usually based on the valuation of the project. And what I'm saying about that is that if you go back to CoinMarketCap and look at the community sentiment, 95% bullish, only 5% bearish. So this is probably going to open pretty... This could be extremely price sensitive, and it could be extremely volatile. And that 5 minutes after this call auction, this thing could rip and then it could dip. More than likely, that's what's going to happen, right? This project's project's team's opening price is displayed for information purposes only and is not determined by the call auction mechanism and will not impact the price where you will execute the orders. Will not impact the prices? I'm fucking lost. Here is the project intro. The Pi Network is a social cryptocurrency developer platform and ecosystem designed for widespread accessibility and real-world utility. It enables users to mine and transact Pi using a mobile-friendly interface while supporting applications built on its blockchain ecosystem. Pi has over 60 million engaged users. Yeah, this is a bit of a... This is written oddly because the engaged users is just people like me pressing the button every 24 hours, you know? It's the Dharma project. You're in that little... You're on the island at Lost and you have to keep pressing a button, otherwise things will go wrong. We don't know what will go wrong. In this case, you just get more Pi in your wallet, but 60 million people have done that, with over 19 million identifier verified through its KYC solution and over 10 million migrated to its mainnet. So there's still 50 million people that haven't migrated to mainnet? Shit. Hey, if you want to get in, start depositing USDT in here. This is going to rip. However, it should also be noted, see this banner at the top of the screen here? It looks like you're viewing our website from Australia. Yes, I am. I'm an Australian, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. However, I believe OKX is not available in the States. Let me just verify that. I'll verify that by bringing up the chat GPT machine. Where is my beam? Where is my mind? I'll just do this off scene because I am using the browser that I use as browsing the internet machine. Here it is. This is the Brave Trouser browser. Is OKX available to worldwide users? OKX is available to users in many countries worldwide, but it has restrictions in certain regions due to regulatory reasons. For example, the users in the United States and Canada, some provinces, and certain other jurisdictions may not be able to access all of the OKX services. Would you like me to check if it's okay? Yes, please check if market orders are available in the USA and Canada. Ooh, OKX is not available to users in the United States or Canada due to regulatory restrictions. As a result, market orders and other trading services are not accessible. Damn, dude. Ceased in 2023. Okay, so it says here, for users in these regions, it's advisable to consider alternative cryptocurrency exchanges. However, we know that the only exchange that is pumping the Pi network is OKX. They're the ones that are doing it up front first. So what if a user in the USA wanted to trade Pi on open, what do they call it? Not open day. What's the day called? Is there a day called? I mean, to trade Pi on 20th of February. I'll just call it launch day. It's not quite launch day, but they should find out. They should know what I mean. As of February 17th, 2025, Pi Network is scheduled to launch its open mainnet on February 20th. This transition will enable Pi to be traded on various cryptocurrency exchanges. Several exchanges have announced plans to list Pi upon mainnet launch, including OKX, BitGet, MEXC, and HTX. Oh shit, I didn't know. Okay, so there's more options. Well, there you are. Don't say I don't do anything for you, United States and Canadians. I'm helping you here. Hold on a second. However, OKX has indicated that the Pi network has requested an isolated listing method, which may restrict trading in certain regions, potentially including the United States. So are they all going to be trading it on the 20th, or is OKX first and then BitGet and MEXC and HTX? Given that OKX and HTX have previously restricted services to the States, it's uncertain whether Pi will be accessible on these platforms within the United States. Additionally, as of now, major US-based exchanges like Coinbase have not announced any plans to list Pi. Therefore, if a user in the US wishes to trade Pi on February 20, they may face challenges, get a VPN, due to potential regional VPN will assist you, restrictions and the current lack of announcements from the US-based exchanges regarding Pi listings, get a VPN. It's advisable to monitor official communications from Pi Network and get a VPN, and major cryptocurrency exchanges for updates on trading availability in specific regions, or just get a VPN. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but you could just get a VPN, right? I mean, I'm sure that's how a lot of Yankees and Canucks get around this. But I'm just telling you, it's interesting. It's interesting right now. I don't know where this pops from here. What will I be doing on the 20th? When is the 20th? When's the calendar? That'll be a Thursday, but that won't be. It'll be Friday. It'll be Friday for me. Interesting. Are you going to be watching Pi? Are you going to be following it? Let me just check it again on the Delta machine, on the tracking app that I use. Where is that? It's gone to the weather now. Why am I looking at the weather? That's not what I wanted. Where is the... Here we go. Dude, it is up to $199 a token. So where's ChatGPT? Did I close it already? I did. Where does ChatGPT, where does the Delta app, the Delta tracking app, draw its price for Pi from? Let's see if it can dig that deep for me. The Delta Investment Tracker app sources its cryptocurrency price data from various exchanges and market data providers to offer users real-time tracking of their assets. As of now, the Pi Network's native token has not officially launched, happens on the 20th, and is not listed on any major cryptocurrency exchanges. However, some platforms offer initial offerings, IOUs, representing future claims to Pi tokens, with speculative trading observed at prices between $61 and $70. Given the unofficial status of these IOUs, the Delta app may not display price data until the official token launch. I'll just say, well, it is already displaying it, and it's sitting at $199 per token. Please explain. I apologize for any confusion caused by my earlier response. While the Pi Network's native token Pi hasn't officially launched or listed on any cryptocurrencies, some platforms offer IOUs representing future claims to Pi tokens. These IOUs have been traded at various prices. You just repeated yourself, dude. The Delta Investment Tracker app aggregates price data from multiple sources, including these IOU markets. The $199 price per token price you're seeing might be derived from specific IOU trading platforms or speculative markets. It's important to note that these prices are speculative and don't reflect an official market value, as the Pi token has not officially launched. Of course, for the most accurate and up-to-date info, consider checking official Pi Network communications. So the point of that is, you probably shouldn't even have this. I mean, I've got it there because I wanted to see how many tokens I had, not what the value was, but you probably shouldn't, you probably shouldn't look at it, because it's telling me my net worth is 756,000, and I don't want to see that if it's just a speculative IOU, right? They don't owe me anything, but you know what I'm saying. But it's definitely worth, and it'd be worth noting what happens on the 20th. Does that then draw the price in from the correct charts from OKX and BitGet and all the other places and HTX. Oh, I got my Ape NFT tokens in the HTX exchange. But hold on a second. Why would I was going to say I should exchange my HTX for USDT and then get ready to buy Pi token, but I don't need to buy it because I've been pressing that button on my phone every 24 hours and I've accumulated 3,000 of them. I'm not buying any of it. I'm not swapping my Ape NFT token into a token that I've been literally able to achieve just by pressing a button every 24 hours on my phone. I've already done the hard work. Did you? Hey, I'm going to morph the content out of cryptocurrency, and we are going to start taking a look at these tabs. Oh, the first one is crypto. The first one is the Bitcoin miner. So I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee and come back, and we will be watching some content and reacting. In the time that I'm away, I'm going to leave you with my surfing clip from yesterday. This is surfboard riding. And if I'm not back in time, the clip will cut off, will end, and you'll see a blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam. Yes, you will. Guarantee. And there you are, a blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam. I told you you'd see it. That's going to be too hot. Give me a moment to sip that. Let's move on. This is the most powerful mini Bitcoin miner. BitAxe Super Hex Review. What?
Mini Bitcoin miners just got a little less mini and a lot more powerful. What is this? This is a small Bitcoin miner that truly has a chance to mine a Bitcoin.
Now, why is it on the back of a truck, on the back of a ute, we call that? You call it a truck, we call it a ute. I've always wondered, could you mine Bitcoin off the alternator? I think we did a stream looking at that one time. Could you get a little Raspberry Pi and then power it so it only runs while you're using your vehicle? Now, of course, you'd need an internet connection as well, but you could just use your 4G from your phone, right?
Block. You may have heard of the open source BitAxe Bitcoin miner project that has not only open sourced the software, but also the hardware design so you can DIY stuff like this. What is this thing? How much Bitcoin does it mine? How much does it cost? How do you set it up and use it? I'm Drew Vosk. You're on the Voscoin YouTube channel. We're out here on the Voscoin mining farm where I mine Bitcoin with big miners. And also, I just love tinkering with gadgets and little stuff like this. Today, we are reviewing the BitAxe Super Hex, and this is my first Hex BitAxe miner. This thing is so powerful. It is so small. Wi-Fi.
I see a 4G antenna on there. Has that got its own little... Yeah, there you go, Wi-Fi.
Capabilities, power connection right there. And oh my gosh, look at this heat sink. That's that silver piece. If you don't know, that thing is big. We are out here in the Voscoin DIY data center, the hard drive mining shed, or simply the green shed on the Voscoin farm. We've got an air-cooled Bitcoin mining pod. We have
too many swooshes.
a gray liquid cooling immersion shed, and then we have this that is completely HVAC'd, closed environment. Nice and warm
Way
in the
too
winter,
much
nice
swooshing.
and cool in the summer, very clean. And this is where I'm deploying stuff like this, because having a couple of these in your
Who did
room
that?
and office is
Mayunas! Wow! Who did that on DLive?
sweet. But at
Thank
some
you.
point I started ending up with a whole army of mini miners, and I still have some hard drive miners, at least the ones that work. Running
Yo,
in there.
Netsky, how you doing,
This
man?
is the masterpiece
Netsky over on the Beam Machine. How you doing, dude? The popcorn.
created by Tiny Chip Hub. We were so impressed with the work that Tiny Chip Hub is doing on the BitAxes. We opened an affiliate account. We have a direct link in the video description below to buy their stuff, support the channel, and a bunch of other links and coupon codes like code Voscoin to save you some coin. They're not a reseller, they're a manufacturer, as emphasized by their name being on their board, peeking out down there next to the BitAxe Hex. So yes, this is basically a giant version of these other BitAxes. There's 3 key BitAxe generations.
Sent a lemon to keep it good. You sent me a lemon on DLive to keep... What, is there something about not using lemons? Yo, Dalesky, how you doing over on DLive? What to do? Is there some new rule about if you don't send a lemon, you lose it or something? Let me guess, they've got new rules in DLive. I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not on the Discord. Jeez.
You need to know about the Ultra, the Supra, and the Gamma. The Ultra uses the BM1366 ASIC
Mayunas.
chip. That's
Wow.
the Bitcoin S19 XP miner chip. The Supra uses the BM1368 ASIC chip from the S21, and then the BitAxe Gamma uses the BM1370 ASIC chip from the S21 Pro as well as the S21 XP. All of those are Bitmain Antminers. That's how all of these have great to best in class efficiency. There's different manufacturers and resellers for all this stuff. Make sure you choose a good one because not all BitAxes are built the same. You may think
No, I'm just keeping you alive on DLive. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, Neskis, over there on DLive. Appreciate you. I love seeing different chats coming in from the different platforms just so that we get to see the icons on the socialstream.ninja. The chat looks so rad on my screen now. I'm really stoked on how it all looks. See, there it is on the kick. Yo, Netskis. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It just looks really good. The icons look poppy. Really stoked. Flowski did all the CSS for that. Yeah, it looks brilliant. Really stoked.
Saving a couple
Looks
bucks.
good now, Gibbs. Yeah, everything looks tidy and clean and concise. I mean, I could just do a quick test and chat here on the Partai machine. Oh, that's not open. I'll just pop it open. Oh, this is complex on Party. Sorry, hold on a second. Let me just go to my profile. That should be the chat. Yeah, there's the chat there. And this looks clean. Yeah. Keep me down. This looks clean. Yeah, just they come up nice and clean. Rumble should be working as well. Rumble, I can pull up Rumble even though I don't ever look there. Let me go to my Rumble chat, my channel. Hello, it's got the default title of hello, and I'll chat in the chat there. Live chat. So is this better than UniChat? It is better than UniChat. It is using the same similar tech to the UniChat on Beam, but it just pulls them all together nicely. Where is my chat on? Oh, there's Rumble there. Here we go. Here comes Rumble. There it is. There it is. Scared the shit out of me. Nice try. The only thing with Rumble, well, it is a different icon, but it looks kind of similar to the Kick icon. I don't know. The coloring is kind of similar. Rumble Lightning. You tried to get me. When you got me with that yesterday, genuinely scared the absolute crap out of me. Was that yesterday or the day before? I feel like that wasn't on the Tracer stream, was it? I think it was the day before. That was frightening as anything, dude. Nicely done.
They may be using used chips and other cheaper components, like a cheaper heatsink, that may not give you a long lifespan with your hardware. At a glance, this thing is a monolithic compared to a normal bit-axe. Let me try to give you some perspective there. It's not quite the same. It's in the front of the scene, but another good comparison here is going to be that this thing is basically the size of a Canon Nano 3 miner, similar in sizing to the Brains Mini miner, and the controversial bit-axe ripoff Lucky miner. Yeah, I've got a whole playlist on these mini Bitcoin miners. Check it out. I won't drone on and on about them. Let's stay focused here on the Super Hex. There are 6 ASIC chips in this miner. That's crazy. 4.2 terahash a second or more.
Wait a second. I see 29 viewers. Where are they all coming in from? 29 viewers? 12 in Partai. Hey, Party. If there are really 12 people watching my stream over on Party, at least one of you should be chatting. At least just one. And I don't mean Dale or Netskis either. I'm talking about another person. Anybody else.
Of Bitcoin mining power. Upgraded fans capable of achieving RPMs of 5,000. No, it's not over 9.
It's interesting that they use the term mining Bitcoin. Right. And there's Twitch. Thank you, Netskis. Like gold mining. Right, because, digital gold. That's the term that they use. Yeah.
9,000, yes, so we can't use the DBZ meme. This will consume a whopping 90 watts, which really isn't that much at all. That's actually less than the Canon miner uses, while this bit-axe Super Hex achieves a higher hash rate, which means more efficiency, which means you will have more Bitcoin mining power for less energy expenditure. There's torque jam nuts used on this, a transient voltage suppressor, or TVS diodes, are installed to improve the stability and the power regulation. And there's even 7
like you, I'm interested in communications, all forms of, yes, and why things happen. Why things are chosen.
channels of temperature monitors installed, and there is a critical note. There is pre-installed firmware by their team they highly recommend using their firmware. If you upgrade it, like we talked about in our last BitAxe Gamma review, well, good luck. Something a bit custom like this, unless you are an expert user, I would just follow what they're saying. Enough talk. Let's plug it in. Let's set it up right here.
Enough swooshes.
These come with a power supply. This is a YU1210 power supply. Key things we're looking for here. The output on this is 12 voltage, 1.6 amp rated, 100 to 240 voltage.
So you could run it from your cigarette lighter.
So this can be plugged into any power source essentially. So, all right, plugged it in, fired up. That's what you want to see. Put my ears close. It's not completely silent, but it's very quiet. I plugged it into my APC power adapter. So this is just typical 120 voltage here in the US. Every time you plug in a BitAxe, it's going to generate a Wi-Fi network. So mine's BitAxe B5 FD here. I'm going to click that on my phone. Once I do that, it's going to pull up Apple Captive. I'm going to click the top left, 3 lines. I'm going to go to Network. I'm going to go to my Wi-Fi SSD, and I'm out here at Orbital Command. Orbital Command, my Wi-Fi network. Then I put in my password, and I click Save. And you're going to have a hard time seeing it. Once you save it, well, it's going to tell you that you need to restart. I'm going to click Restart.
You liked that poop video, yeah, the How I Met Tracer video from yesterday. Pretty funny.
And then it's going to...
Maybe that was a bit too long, I think.
Restart the device. And look at this shot of the screen. This shows it hashing. It didn't have this hash rate screen before.
That story stinks.
That means that it has successfully accepted your Wi-Fi credentials there. In the spirit of don't try this at home, I pulled the power out, taken the screen cover off, and then I'm going to reinstall it. Ooh, be careful. Oh, fuck! Woo! There we go. Still got my finger. Oh yeah! Don't do this at home.
The replay's up, yeah. I had to re-upload it as a VOD on my YouTube channel because if I had streamed that live, I would have got community strike dinged. So strange how that happens. Like I literally uploaded the exact rip of the VOD, and all I got was these are copyrighted. You can't monetize. I was like, I don't care. Put it up, and don't monetize it. But if I had streamed it live, it would have been like community guidelines violation, ding, lame.
God damn it, man. Last week, a power supply blew up off camera. S21 Pro. This week...
Do you know what? I've learned enough about this. I'm not interested in it. I just saw it there and thought it was a... he showed the website before. These are $500 US. Where was the website? There'll be a link. There'll be an affiliate link down below here. There we go. I think they were $530 or something for the cheap one. They're only available on pre-order anyway. Yeah, $559. So a Siri, what's 559 US dollars in Australian dollars?
559 US dollars is $877.83.
You'd be way better off spending that $870 on Bitcoin, just buying the token and holding it. You're going to buy this, and by the time you get it all running, the share rate's going to jack up, and your hardware is going to be outdated, and you're stuck with it. You're better off just buying the token. The amount of energy required from the AI plan, massive. Well, no, this runs off 12 volt. That's what we're looking at it, because you could just plug it into your cigarette lighter and use it while you're driving. That's what I was looking at it for. You could just have it in your vehicle and have it only running when you're driving. That's all I was saying for it. 12 volt, just plug it into, in my case, I just plug it into my AC, into my accessories batteries in GoVan, and I've got Starlink running there, so there's internet. Not yet, but it's there, ready to go. So that's what I was referring to. I'm referring to AI, not crypto mining. Oh, okay. We're talking about this miner. You're talking about AI? Okay. Anyway, let's move on. This was... Oh, well, let's get rid of that. This is that village in Poland, which is just interesting to look at. All these houses are off one street. Like, that just looks visually impressive. What's it all about? Let's learn.
Sawashowa Village, a very beautiful one-road village. Having an unusual layout, this beautiful settlement is so pleasing to the eye. Hundreds of houses on both sides of a single road winding...
Now, hang on. I got to interrupt here and say, this is only interesting to look at from above. If you're driving down that road, it's literally like driving down any other road. You look to the left, you see houses. You look to the right, you see houses. What's the difference? It only looks like this if you get above it. You know what I'm saying?
Through multicolored farm fields as far as the eye can see, giving an extraordinary nuance in the middle of the natural mosaic of agricultural fields. This is Sawashowa, a one-road village that offers beauty and uniqueness.
See, it doesn't... You can see... Where's my mouse? All these side streets that go off, like into... Like, technically that's a road off to the side, goes behind a house, goes down here, goes down... You could call that a street, going down here, down to that street, down to these houses. So technically, if you're driving along here, you're just seeing roads off to the side like any other time. Nice try, Poland.
Sawashowa is a village located in the Krakow district of southern Poland. This place, nicknamed Little Tuscany, is inhabited by around 6,000 people who live in houses along the road flanked by green expanses of agricultural land. This single road stretches more than 9 kilometers, making it one of the longest roads in Poland. Both sides of the main road or the only highway in this place.
Wait, 9 kilometers is the longest road in Poland? I mean, hold my beer. Australia, we got like 700 kilometers of straight roads. I like the way the fields form a wave pattern. I mean, it is visually impressive from the air. We're 1 minute into a 3-minute 50 video and we haven't been on the ground yet. Because I think when they show us footage from the ground, it'll look just like any other street.
People build houses close to each other.
But the concept of living compared to all in one city, it's the concept. Yeah, I mean, look, it's intriguing. This is not the There's that thing called the Line Project or something. That's not this, is it? The Line Project. What, the Line Project? Yeah, this is something different. We looked into this. A revolution in urban living. Everyone living in a stack along a line. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. There you go, Daleskis. Yeah, so you're onto it. You know what? Yeah, because we looked at this once. Probably not going to happen. Yeah, we did look into that, but I mean, yeah, this is already happening, or this is already a thing, kind of.
They all have gardens or rectangular fields that stretch away from the main road of the village. Each house there has its own farmland behind their house. Different colors of land indicate that each land is planted with different types of plants. What makes this village so special? Not only the fact that everyone lives on the same street, but also the way they live. Because they are surrounded by a long strip of land for farming and gardening, giving a comfortable rural feel.
Do you know what? Just thinking about this logistically, it would kind of suck to live there. What if you need to go to the store and like, it's very, you're always X amount of time away from something. You know, like when we go somewhere, we can zigzag through streets and cut around corners and go this way. I want to go to Aldi. You've got to go. Just go that way. When you come back that way. It's all linear, right? Last you heard this, the line has been scaled way back. Yeah, okay, interesting.
To the place. Suloshoa has been around for a long time. Even this settlement was founded in the 16th century by an aristocratic army officer who had the crown of the Polish kingdom. Suloshoa also became a silent witness to slavery and total destruction during the First World War. Over the centuries, this place has experienced political strife, shifts of power, and religious rebellions. Over time, Suloshoa has transformed into a settlement that looks like a beautiful wonderland. The rows of houses that stand here look so clean and tidy. The houses also look luxurious. The nuances of the amazing green farmland, combined with houses with brightly colored roofs that are evenly spread along the road.
Wouldn't really say that's even. I'd say that's a bit haphazard. Also, still haven't had any footage from on the road itself. It's all been above.
This is a quiet and comfortable place to live. The people here have some unique traditions, which illustrate the harmony between...
I want to know what crops are being grown. Well, the yellow would be rapeseed, canola, right? Surely.
...the residents. One of them is celebrating the harvest from the fields they work on. The residents of Suloshoa have a day called Strawberry Days.
And there you
During
go.
Strawberry Days, they all gather to party, taste the harvest, and play live music.
I guess there's no beating around the bush in Suloshoa. They just go up and down.
In addition to its beautiful agricultural landscapes, Suloshoa is also rich in historical tourism. Currently, tourists can visit the medieval fortress.
That's not quite Suloshoa, though. That's got its own little road in and out.
Pieskowa Skala Castle, built by the Polish king Kazimierz III Wielki in the 14th century, which is located on a cliff overlooking the countryside at the eastern end of the city.
Poland's pretty beautiful, though, isn't it? Been there a few times.
In short,
this is prime strawberry time in Florida. Nice.
Suloshoa is one of the residential landscapes that offers beauty and uniqueness. The harmonious life in it is also a plus that perfects it. You could say that Suloshoa is one of the extraordinary places which is desired to be lived by many people.
You could say that. And I did note that there was no footage from the street side. Now, here is a ventilation option for inside GoVan, I guess. We want to learn about how to get ventilated in GoVan.
It might seem odd to leave a window open on a cold night, especially since you worked so hard on your van's insulation. But ventilation is super important. It helps with condensation and it helps with air quality. Don't you worry a little bit that you're going to run out of oxygen in the middle of the night and pass out or something?
Nope.
How long does it take for two people to use up all the air in a van? We're going to find out. My son's here with me, and he's going to...
My son's here with me, and we're going to die right now. We're going to lock all the windows and breathe deeply until we pass out and potentially die. I went to Strawberry Festival last year, Plant City, foreigner. Okay, cool.
help me. We're just going to breathe until the air's gone.
The air quality meter starts out at just over 400, and that's typical for fresh outside air. Well, let's fast forward to the end.
To the end.
And we've reached 1500 after only 14 minutes. The meter's not only indicating port, but it's also flashing a warning sign that we need new air. So let's take a look at the cool ways other people have designed their ventilation systems, and then I'll show you what I'm thinking, which I haven't actually seen anyone else do. A cheap solution is to just crack your windows a bit and install a rain guard. It has a lot of drawbacks, but it's better than nothing. I followed this guy's example and made these large vents out of gutter covers, screen, and tape. They kept mosquitoes out, but I still didn't get enough airflow. Also, with these in, I couldn't use the reflective window covers I'd made. So that meant I wasn't stealthy, and also that the sunlight would wake me up too early in the morning.
Gutter guard. Mosquito repellent.
Adding a fan like this would help a lot with the airflow, but not with the stealth. This guy made a slim, custom snorkel system that pulls in air without letting any light in or out. Rooftop fans are common and work well, but they aren't stealthy, and they also involve cutting a hole in the top of your van, which is pretty destructive if you ever want to sell it. A floor vent like this one is also destructive, but it is stealthy. One last fun idea is to
Wait, a floor vent? A floor vent? But the hot air rises. You want to get rid of the hot air. It'd need to be in the roof, right?
take advantage of your sunroof if you have one.
And now it's my turn. The idea is pretty obvious, but it was tricky to get working. I just want to use the van's ventilation system.
Why the obsession with stealth? I guess, I mean, a lot of stealth stuff in regards to RVs is so that you can camp up, like free park in the streets and not be sort of known to be there. I guess that's what this...
Let's turned on fresh air instead of recycle. The challenge is getting it to run without running all the car's electrical systems. And I also don't want to risk killing the battery, so wake up with a dead battery in the morning. Fresh air enters the vehicle under the hood right along here. There's already protection from bugs and water. I don't actually know where it exits the vehicle. Actually, let's find out. Here I've got a Halloween smoke generator. The smoke machine has a remote control. Hook it up to some power in here, and then I'm gonna seal up the van, generate a bunch of smoke with the fan on, and we'll see where it exits the car. Okay, let's start the smoke. Hey, I see it, I see it, I see it.
Huh.
I don't know where it's coming from, but it comes out the back.
My vehicle's on fire.
My front blower is right behind the glove box, and you can access the cable up under here without actually even taking anything apart.
Here's the view from underneath. Older cars have just 2 wires, and the fan speed knob adjusts the voltage sent to the blower. But my car has 3 wires. I tried touching 12 volts to all the wires, but it didn't work. It actually wasn't easy to find the technical specs, but eventually I found this image. The important clue here is that the blower is expecting a series of ground pulses on the middle wire. So I have here an automotive oscilloscope to get a look at those pulses. I poked a safety pin into the skinny center wire and then clipped on the oscilloscope probe. Alright, let's look at the signal while the fan is on low.
Don't know what any of this means.
In the screenshot, you can see it takes 2 milliseconds for the pulse to cycle up and down. So that equates to 500 hertz. But it turns out the frequency doesn't really matter. What matters is the fraction of each cycle that the signal spends in the low state down on the bottom. I'll turn the fan up full blast so you can see. Now most of the time is spent on the bottom. The cool thing is the peak-to-peak voltage is 5 volts, which is very common. It means the signal is going to be easy to replicate. So the first part we need is a square wave signal generator. I got this one on Amazon for only $13, and really this is the only part you need for this project. For input, it can be powered by anywhere from 3 to 30 volts, and it outputs a 5 volt pulse just like we need. I don't want to drain my car battery, and I have a ton of Ryobi batteries in my shop. So I bought this adapter. It connects to my 18 volt battery, and then it has this step down converter, so the final output is 12 volts, just like my blower expects.
Interesting.
And if I need more power, I also bought this adapter, which is for the big 40 volt batteries, and it also has a step down converter to output 12 volts. These connectors are nice, so I won't have to solder any wires. Finally, I don't want to cut any wires on my car, so I looked all over and I found this wiring harness on eBay for my specific blower motor. I'll just disconnect the existing harness and plug this one in each time I use this stuff. Let's put it all together. First, we'll connect all 4 negative...
So what he's doing, it seems pretty complex, but he wants to use his AC in his vehicle separate to any other electrical device. So he wants to be able to camp and just use the AC unit. nothing else. Because when you turn on the accessories to run the air conditioning, everything else comes on. So therefore you're draining the power quicker and quicker and quicker. So he's trying to isolate the AC from everything else.
Wires. There's the battery negative, the signal generator V negative terminal, the ground for the output from the pulse width modulator, and the blower motor negative. Now, my wiring harness uses black for positive and yellow for negative, which is goofy. I guess they're copying the Toyota harness, which has black for positive and ground is white with a black.
Will this power the actual AC or just the blower and fan? Probably, yeah, you're probably right. Probably just the blower and the fan. Yeah. Yeah, you're dead right there, because that's he's just ventilating. He's not ACing it. Yeah.
Strike. None of it makes sense, so just use the voltmeter to make sure you get it right. Next, we'll connect the 3 positive wires to get power from the battery to the signal generator V positive terminal, and also the blower motor positive.
And to get it to work, he needs this pulse modulator to simulate what would be if the vehicle was on. Or, sorry, if the accessory switch was switched on. Is what I understand. I would never have thought of this, and this is all new to me.
And finally, we'll connect the pulse output to the middle wire of the blower harness. Set the frequency to 500 Hertz. Use the duty cycle buttons to adjust the fan speed. Unfortunately, the numbers won't work in reverse, since duty cycles sets the width of the top of the pulse instead of the bottom, like our blower wants. So high duty cycle means slower fan.
The big question is, how long will the battery last? So I'm going to test it with my smallest battery, which is 2 amp hours. And I want to check on it frequently throughout the night to see if it's still running. So I got this anemometer, and that is taking wind speed measurements and transmitting it to the tablet, which will record the data all night long. And this big battery just powers those two to make sure they don't shut off. Now, right before this, I measured the wind speed coming out when the car is on and set to the lowest blower speed, the lowest fan speed, and it's 1.4 meters per second. So that's also what I have, as you can see on the tablet, that's also what I have the pulse width modulator set to. I got 1.4 meters per second by setting it to at 65%, if you can read that. So let's start, and I'll check the data in the morning.
And the fan stayed on only 1 hour and 10 minutes before shutting off abruptly. That's a little disappointing, so let's try a bigger battery. We'll try one rated for almost 6 times as many watt hours as the little one.
And here goes test number 2 with the 40 volt 6 amp hour battery. Okay, this time the fan ran for 7 hours and 15 minutes. That's pretty good, and of course I could get more time by setting the fan to an even slower speed. Out of curiosity, I measured the current draw at this test speed and got 2.6 amps.
So the problem I can foresee with this is that if you're in a van and you've got a camper set up, that's all great, but you're only outputting air through the existing ventilation systems. So typically van lifers have converted the rear of their vehicle, and all of those output vents are covered over with wall paneling or bedding or, carpet or cabinets or whatever it is. Like in GoVan, the only output ventilation fans are the ones in the front, and you're not in the front when you're camping, you're in the back. So that would That's an interesting idea, but not very useful for sleeping in the rear of a vehicle. That's how I look at it anyway.
The lowest possible setting, it was 0.3 amps. And at the highest setting, with the blower roaring, it drew 16 amps. That's a lot of amps. I guess because it's a big motor and it needs to pull the air through the cabin filter. For comparison, I found someone on Reddit measured the current draw of their max fan. Wow, so the rooftop fan uses way less power. I guess that's why they're so popular. But for me, where I have extra batteries, my trips are short, my solution is perfect, and the main thing is that I'm going to sell my van one day, so I can't be cutting a hole in the roof.
Yeah, okay. Interesting idea. Not something I would do, though. Let us move on to how to create a sand art jar.
Hi, I'm Kat, and in this tutorial I'll show you how to
Hi,
make
Kat.
these.
Hi, Kat. Look at this. This is exactly what I want to do with this. For those that don't remember or that didn't know, I came back from my trip to Uluru with red soil. This is red dirt from the outback of Australia. Very red. And when I brought that back, I thought, that's interesting. I'd like to compare that to how the yellow sand is here at my local beach. So I went down and got some yellow sand from the beach. And then I thought, wait a second. I live in Jervis Bay area where there's the world's most whitest sand, a place called Hyams Beach. So I went and got some white sand. So I've got a bag of white, a bag of yellow, and a bag of red. And I wondered, what the hell am I going to do with this? I mean, it's all well and true to collect it and have it there, but why? I thought maybe I'll make a sand art jar, but I don't even know how. I don't know what to do with it, but let's learn. After auditioning Fort Knox, Elon wants to set up Bitcoin reserve for the US. Nice. Nice.
Sand art jars. I love this project because it gave me an opportunity to recycle some of these old candle jars that I had laying around, and the rest of the supplies are really easy to find, and you probably already have them in your house.
Swish.
For this project, you'll need some chalk pastels, a decorative jar, a plain jar to mix your different colors in, some table salt, small containers for different colors, a sheet of paper, some tape, a hot glue gun and hot glue, and something pointy like a chopstick. You may also want to use a knife. Start by putting about...
That's not a knife! I saw a guy make art with sand like this. Interesting.
About an eighth of a cup of salt into your jar and tossing in one of your chalk pastels. Then shake it until all of that salt turns the color of the pastel. You don't want to be too violent with it because then...
Okay, so this is how she's coloring her... Oh, she's using salt for this, not sand. Did she say salt? She just poured salt in there? Because I've already got the different colored sands.
Paper, some tape, a hot glue gun and hot glue, and something pointy like a chopstick. You may also want to use a knife.
Sand art was popular years ago here. Yeah. I mean, look, I only want to do this because it's something, you know, it's related to the trip.
Start by putting about an eighth of a cup of salt into your jar and tossing in one of your chalk pastels. Then shake it until all of that salt turns the color of the pastel. You don't want to be too violent with it because then you'll shatter your chalk pastel. Once you've gotten it to the color that you like, put it into one of your containers that you're using to separate your colors and take out the pastel and put it away. Do as many colors as you think you're going to want for your project.
Right, so that's how she's generating the funky colored sands. Interesting.
Another fast method to do this that's a little bit more dangerous is to just shave off a little bit of your chalk pastel into the jar using your knife. If you're a child, have your parents do this instead, and then shake it up and you get a nice saturated color. Once you've premixed all of those colors, go ahead and roll up your sheet of paper at an angle. You'll want to do this at an angle because you're forming a cone that you're going to use as a funnel. So make sure that the tip of it is not too large, otherwise the sand is going to fall right through. Then tape it up towards the end, make sure there aren't any weird folds that are going to get stuck, and you're ready to begin. Start by putting a mound of salt into the bottom of your glass jar. You don't want this mound to reach all the way to the edges, just leave a little gap and then fill in that gap with your first color. I just did some blue for the ocean on my first pass around. Then I built up that center cone. You're going to want to do this so you don't end up wasting all of your colored salt, because this is a lot less work. I did different shades of blue and green, and then I started adding in.
So she's got the white sand, or the white salt, because you won't see that. You only need to color the outside. Well, I've got enough of all the sands, depending on the size of the jar, of course.
My islands. I did a little strip of black sand.
Netsky, any tooth boy lined up? Yeah, we do.
Put a mound of my yellow beachy colored sand on top of that. Covered that up with another thin stripe of black.
So she's not layering them with any. I thought, and I think when we looked at this, when we first talked about this, someone said you need to put some kind of layer between the different colors. Otherwise, the sand will just mix together. What's stopping that from, like, as soon as you shake that jar, it'll all just become one, right?
And then I added a slightly larger island behind that one using the exact same method. I filled up the ocean a little bit around it, being careful not to get it over the island, and then finished up the top of the island with another thin black strip. Then I built up the center of the jar, being sure not to get any of that sand to the edge, and then I continued with my different layers of ocean colors. I turned the jar around and did another island on the other side of the jar, built
Don't
up
shake
the center a little bit more.
Yeah, but what about if you move houses and you've got to go traveling and packs and all that stuff?
And then I started with my birds. I just did a little tiny stripe of black sand and then pushed the center of it down with my chopstick, and then covered it up with the same color that was underneath the birds. I did a couple of clouds and then filled the rest in with different shades of the sky colors. Once your jar is completely full, pat down the sand, wait about 24 hours, top it off a little bit more because the sand will settle and you don't want a gap at the top. Once you've completely filled it with sand, go ahead and glue on your lid with your hot glue gun. And that's all there is to it. I ended up doing another version with a nice little sunset scene.
Nice.
But you can do anything you want, or even just do crazy stripes of color. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and
I mean, that's way, way easier. In fact, there's nothing in there that she did that I couldn't do already with the colors I've got. My big fear was that because it's literally sand, that it would all mix together eventually, but I guess not. I guess we just layer it, and I guess how I would do it would just be like, I just like 3 layers of different color. I don't know. I don't even know why I kept it. I guess it's a bit of a silly idea. I feel like I should do something with it though, because they do look pretty rad. The colors together, right? All 3 of those together. And then you could put them in a special, like a 100ml bottle of Jack or something, the funky Jack bottle. You know, the bottle shape makes it cool. Sand art shop plus an earthquake equals a worthless inventory. Now, I did see this funny video. I don't know what it's all about. Put aluminium foil in the toilet once and you'll be surprised by the result. What? Three pieces of foil. A piece of soap. A cake of soap, right? We call that a cake. Great, the cake of soap skis. If you never have put toothpaste in foil, then you'll urgently need to watch this video to the end. You're grating the whole soap. Some toothpaste, a third of a tube. Looks like cheese for a pizza, yeah, fully. I wonder why she didn't lay the foil out before she did that. Baking soda. So it's baking soda, soap, and toothpaste. Won't be eating that pizza. Hell no. Imagine it exploded. Kaboom! It's not really not a very compelling video if you don't show us the results. So you stuck it in there. We didn't see a before shot though. Get out of here. Can I get my 4 minutes back, please? Speaking of getting our time back, let us take time now to catch up with old mate Toothboy. We know him as TB. His name is Brent Underwood. His channel is Ghost Town Living. We watch this quite religiously on the channel here, and we are up to this one, 3D scanning the abandoned mines of Cerro Gordo.
Hello there!
Hello there! Oh, right on time. That was almost the exact time stereo hello there's. Thank you, Dale.
Hello there!
Yo, Netsky. Hey! Oh, no, that was in Kick. I was going to say, did you do that in Beam? No, that was a Kick command, of course. Hello there!
Hello there!
Hello
My
there!
name is Brent, and right now we are inside the Union Mine at Cerro Gordo. And back in the 1800s, this mine was the largest silver mine in California. So there is a lot of history in these 30 miles of mine shafts all around me. And in this video, we are not just going to better understand that history, we are going to attempt to make all around me. And in this video, we are not just going to better understand that history, we are going to attempt to make a little bit of history ourselves by 3D mapping this entire mine.
The building on top was able to be reconstructed completely.
Oh, that's great.
And inside here, it's going to be more tricky.
There it is. That is cool. This is something that I've wanted to do for over 4 years now. And so we're going to use the most state-of-the-art technology, compare it to some other technologies, and this is going to lead to more informed explorations, a huge data set for future generations, and inevitably some new discoveries.
Could be a computer game. Looks like Prince of Persia, kind of. Does anybody remember that computer game?
About this mine that I love. So let's get into it. So I have been living up here at Cerro Gordo for over 4 years now, and I have wanted to map these mines since pretty much the day I moved up here to try to understand what am I missing when I was looking at these old static maps, because I think that pursuit of context, that pursuit of history has been my guiding light since I first moved up here, and it has brought me all sorts of joy and meaning in my life that I never had before living at Cerro Gordo, because I think these mines are important. I think the town of Cerro Gordo is important. I think that the history here is important, and preserving that for future generations is important as well. And right now, the main thing we have to work off of is this 1960s report from the USGS that goes over all the different mines here, and it's great. It's 60 pages that has put me on more adventures than anything else in my life, but it's not perfect. You know, these mines are actively collapsing every single day, and the technology has advanced so much in the past 60 years to allow us to do things like measure the distance and all this type of stuff. So this idea of 3D mapping has been one that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I've been pursuing for a very long time. A couple years ago, the Corridor crew and Polycam came out here, and we did a little bit of mapping of the surface, and we did one mine shaft that wasn't connected into the Union Mine here. It was awesome. I remember I was so excited. I tried to do a lot of mapping myself after the fact, and just never got the results that I wanted. And so I was banging my head against the wall, but different people over the years would reach out and say, hey, we could help, we could help. And one of them was Bishop's University up in Quebec, specifically a professor named Bruno, who has a mine himself that's very comfortable with 3D mapping. And he was the first step in this multi-year journey to map these mines.
Pretty cool concept, pretty cool idea.
All right, today is the day that we begin 3D mapping the 30 miles of mine right underneath where I'm standing, and I am very excited. Bruno, who is a researcher and a teacher at Bishop's University in Quebec, is up here with some colleagues. You know, Bruno has mapped underground spaces all over the world. He's done underwater spaces. They got in really late last night. They're all down in the bunkhouse down there. So I think first thing today is we're gonna go down there, create some type of plan, what we're gonna do over the next 10 days, and hopefully start capturing history.
Okay, so hello, I'm Bruno from Bishop's University. I'm a professor there teaching environmental science, geography, all GIS related stuff and remote sensing. So basically I'm doing LiDAR scans as part of the course, and also at home I have a mine, so I'm also using LiDAR to 3D maps.
You said paid for it. Paid for it. When did he say that? He said he paid for it, Netskis? Brent said he paid for it? Is that what you said?
The next 10 days, and hopefully start capturing history.
I'm not too sure what you're referring to.
Okay, so hello, I'm Bruno from Bishop's University. I'm a professor there teaching environmental science, geography, all GIS related stuff and remote sensing. So basically I'm doing LiDAR scans as part of the course, and also at home I have a mine, so I'm also using LiDAR to 3D maps my own mine. Here what we're trying to do is we're going to be trying to do, it's called photogrammetry or structure from motion. So we're going to be flying a drone to get the 3D landscape of the place, but the main focus will be to go underground and to scan with a terrestrial LiDAR.
Oh, you're talking about something entirely different. US aid. Right. Okay. Is that related to this video at all, or is that just breaking news? US aid. Right. I thought that was a typo, and I thought you were saying I said, as in you said he paid for it. I don't know what USAID is. Yeah.
Okay. So a LiDAR that we put on station, and we move from place to place to 3D map with this instrument, the mine.
Yeah, I came out to help along with this project. We've done some scanning before in the courses of our remote sensing and GIS classes. So yeah, I'm out here to see what we can do.
And I'm along on this trip with my...
Yeah, just heads up, if you're going to put something unrelated in the chat, just sort of state that it's unrelated. Like, you could have just said, like, breaking news, the US aid got cancelled or something, because I genuinely thought you were trying to relate it. I thought you were saying something about what we were watching, so I was lost, and I thought you just made a typo, but you said. Yeah. You would need to know about the news of the cuts. Yeah, and at the moment we're not talking about that.
My profs, actually Bruno and Elizabeth, and a fellow student, to help with the LiDAR and to get to see what some field work looks like and how we use these tools to do something that actually looks really, really neat, and I'm really excited to explore this place.
I'm actually the geologist of the department, and I'm very excited to assist Bruno with this LiDAR mapping of the Cerro Gordo mine.
All right, so we got a game plan, and the game plan is myself and Bruno are going down in the mine to run the LiDAR down in the mine. Some of his colleagues are staying up here on the surface, and what they're going to do is they're going to be 3D mapping with the LiDAR the surface of Cerro Gordo's property, so we can stitch that into the underground mapping, which I'm really excited about, because that means that we can then tell, let's say I'm at a tunnel at the end of a collapse, we can actually tell how far I am from the outside, which means maybe I could create a new portal into the mine, which would be amazing, because right now there's only one access point into the mine, and that is using the main shaft. So they'll be using something like this. You can see, that's going to be slowly mapping each part of this town with the LiDAR, and then again.
Wait. Why is he using a DJI drone controller? Have they morphed a drone controller to run the LiDAR stuff?
Mapping each part of this town with the LiDAR, and then again, we're going to stitch that into the underground mapping. So right now we're headed up to the hoist. We're going to do our first day underground, get an idea of how long this thing's going to take in total. So stay tuned. About to go underground. All right, so this is it. The Union Mine here at Cerro Gordo. This is the reason that we're all here. Come on, I'll show you guys. So this is the shaft here. That's what we'll be going down on.
So this is a LiDAR. This instrument, there's a mirror here rotating, and the instrument also rotates on itself. So this way it does an hemispherical scan. So the laser scan is going in a line like this, and this pattern do the acquisition and acquired 1 million points per second in the environment. Right now the setup is to take in total 28 million points. But it's going to redo multiple times the same locations just to reduce the error. So it's an instrument that is extremely precise, and this way we can mix and match the different scans together and recreate environment, not only from this point of view, but from all the other points of view.
All right, going apart. What do you think?
It's a pretty neat adventure. But the cage is, it's a different. It would be nice if we were able to find the distance between one of the opening.
Yeah, to not use this.
Yeah.
Once we get down in the mine, what will the step-by-step process be of mapping the mine?
We'll install the LiDAR in different locations, but prior to that, we have to install the different targets. And it's a reference point, basically to match the different scans together. And the goal is you have a 3D
Hey, Brett. How you doing, man?
cloud of...
Over on Kick. How you going, dude? Interesting. We're just watching this Toothboy 3D mapping the mines. I'm doing well too, man. LiDAR is laser radar for mapping and plotting. Yeah, pretty incredible. Phones use them as like your latest iPhone, or the last I think 3 or 4 models of iPhone have LiDAR in them. It's how you can go to a furniture store and like take a photo. Well, you can do it here. You can just go to a furniture store, choose a piece of furniture, and then you put it in position in your room and say that's what it would look like, and you get a 3D map of what your room is with that piece of furniture in it. Pretty rad.
Points, a huge cloud, in this case for each scan 30 million points, and you have to match them together.
So these are the targets. Trying to have 3 of these visible for the scanner so you can stitch everything together. So you see kind of they're placed around. Day 1 of the project was pretty much a learning day. You know, I had given some information to the team had given some information to me, but until the team was in the space and I could see the equipment going, we were just guessing at best. And the first day was trying to find out what was going to be most efficient. Because the basic premise is you line the shaft with targets. And the idea is these targets help you stitch together the scans. And so you need to be able to identify the targets pretty easily within the scans. And the big debate comes of how far apart you're going to put the scanner. You need to move it each time to get a new scan. And the idea is you want to put it close enough where you could easily stitch together the two different scans. But
what's the
far enough
resolution of this? I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that, but yeah, I'm assuming it's bigger. It's good enough for commercial usage.
apart. We're not spending all day just going 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. You know, that would just take an extraordinary amount of time. And so we tried some that were closer together. We tried some that were far apart, but the difficulty is if you get too far apart, you miss one and you have to go back and do a scan in the middle, which ends up taking more time than if you just put them a little bit closer together to begin with. And so I think we landed on about 20 feet apart. It was pretty good. At each scan, somebody would then run the data back to Bruno, and Bruno was in charge of stitching all these scans together. You know, it's a manual process where somebody has to kind of scan around, find the target, find 3 matching targets to then stitch them together in a proper way. And Bruno brought down his just super powerful computer and would sit by the hoist while the scans were happening and the data was being ran back to him.
And if I put the view, it's everything that has been scanned so far with the exterior.
Yeah.
We have a second one here, and we're matching all the different zones together. The building on top was able to be reconstructed completely.
Oh, that's great.
And inside here, it's going to be more tricky.
Yeah. Not as many distinguished features. Is that kind of what the issue is? And again, the technology we're using is LiDAR, which is light and detection ranging. And basically what's happening is millions of lasers are going out and it's measuring how long it takes to come back. And from that, it's kind of building out the world around it, including capturing dimensions, which is really cool. So in the future, I'll be able to know exactly how high the ceiling is at a certain part of the 86 level, for instance. It's really exciting. You know, for me, I have a few hopes with this whole process. I think number one, it's preservation. You know, since these mines have closed up, very few people have been into them and they've been collapsing, you know, almost every year. And so the idea that
it's a better light show than a Pink Floyd concert.
people will have access to the information and be able to build upon the information.
Something about it didn't get me this time. That other time got me a whopper, but that one just did not get me.
It's really exciting. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've referenced this USGS report from the 1960s to kind of enhance my experience here at Cerro Gordo. And so I want to preserve them, allow more people to explore them, you know, from the comfort of their home, and let more people just think through some of these problems. Like, how do we get to some of these other levels that I haven't been able to get to yet? You know, I think that by open sourcing that a little bit, it's really exciting. I think second, the big bucket is kind of spatial awareness of where I am in the mine related to the outside. And I think there's a few caveats there. Like, first, it's a safety thing. If people know where I'm going and how to get to where I'm going, if I map it out very clearly and I have a map to reference, if anything horrible were to happen, there's a better safety plan to get somebody out of here.
Only Michael Fox with a laser pointer could do this. Jeez, that's harsh.
And I think second, if we could find somewhere that's close to the surface and I can create a second portal to the outside, that's also a safety thing. So people wouldn't have to come up to the main Union mine.
It does look pretty cool when it's plotted out like that. Like, we've seen him go into these mines for years now, but now we can see a 3D model of, you know, the shaft going down, the land shape above it. It is pretty. It's pretty cool tech. What would be even radder is if because he's got Wi-Fi down there now, at least in the bottom of the 700 level or something. It'd be pretty rad for him to have a tag like a GPS tag on his body, and then as he's moving through the mine, that plots it on the 3D map. Kind of like the cyclists, you know, the guys that use that Stravo app and they're cycling and it does it in real time of where they've been. He could probably even use an Apple AirTag for that, you know, or Stevie Wonder using Braille. Crikey.
It's all really exciting. You know, we're just at the 86 now, but as this thing gets pieced together, I'm watching it come to life, which is really exciting. First time down, how do you think it went?
I think it went well.
Yeah.
It started slow, but...
By the way, tell me this guy on frame right now doesn't look like this guy. Tell me this photographer, Matt Granger. Tell me they don't look. Tell me these people don't look similar. Very similar. Very similar, right? Where's a bigger image?
There's some similarities.
Oh my god. Nice. Nicely done. Matt Granger. It's making it look too grainy. There's some similarities. I used to follow him quite a lot, but I haven't seen his stuff in many years. But Matt Granger, I thought that when I saw it, actually when I first saw this clip at the beginning of this video, I actually thought it was him. I had to go back and double check.
Now we have the practice and we know a little bit the lay in the land, and we're going to be able to be more efficient.
All right, so we're at day 2.
Day 2 at Cerro Gordo, doing the LiDAR scans. So we've been doing till pretty early this morning, the scans for the 86 level. Right now, what we are at...
In the mine, it's always nighttime.
Okay. So right now, not all the scans are entered, but we see all of them here. The different tunnels. This place here will be amazing to see in 3D. That's a portion. Here we have a projection, so we see from above, and we're kind of losing the perspectives, like the maps from the USGS, where everything seems like a puzzle on top of each other. But that spot here will be amazing to see in 3D.
From the very beginning of this project, time was going to be the biggest question mark. The team had a flight back to Canada 10 days later. So we tried to wonder, are we able to map the entire Union mine? Could we map more mines around the property and stitch them all together? We just had no idea how long this process was going to take. And it turns out that this scanning took us a lot longer than maybe we anticipated.
Looks like an ant colony. It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, ants living down there. For sure.
But we wouldn't learn that for a couple days in.
Someone could make an animation of that once this is, provided to the public. Someone could animate ants living down there.
Now, one of my favorite parts of the early days of scanning was just being able to show people the mine that I care so much about. Very few people get to come down here in the mines with me, so very few people can get to see what I see, marvel at the different mineralization all around the shaft, or just the sheer manpower that it took to create some of these tunnels. Now, walking through it with the team, they were saying their oohs and ahs in the same way, and that just kind of reminded me of why I care about this town so much. All right, today is day 3 of mapping the mines, and today we should get to an area that I'm really excited about, an area that I have not been able to visualize on camera for people at home probably ever. It is the Jefferson Chimney, which is the main ore deposit here at Cerro Gordo. We're talking a surface...
Brett, I went to an abandoned copper mine in Jeremy, Arizona, and they made a map of the whole mine with wire. Holy shit. So like a scaled down version, but like a physical wired map. I mean, once you've got this data from this LiDAR, you could do similar, right? You could ask it to 3D print a scaled down version of it. Imagine a 3D print of it. That'd be cool, man. That mine goes down 4,000 feet. Wow. That's epic. This one goes down 900 feet, I think.
Deposit that went down 1,100 feet. And on the 86th level, once you hit it, it is just a huge crevasse across. We're talking about 50 feet or more by 50 feet or more. Anytime I use these cameras, it never really displays it fully. So I'm excited to go down there. We're going to 3D map it, integrate that into the 86. So finally we can start visualizing, just how big of ore deposit this thing was.
The goal, because we have students with us, the goal was to mitigate the risks. So one of the choices that we made was to remove the possibility of using climbing equipment. So that's going to be super interesting in the mapping season 2, to go there with the right equipment and to rappel from the top.
Hello there!
And to put the LiDAR...
Hey, Charles. How you doing, man? I think the weight and gravity would collapse all these mines. I mean, that's a huge risk that he must be aware of every time he goes in there, These are like hundreds of years old. And land moves, earthquakes, tremors, even if there isn't an earthquake, there's the natural movement of land. Like, they put a glass on top of the old elevator mine shaft and you can look down and drop stuff. Yeah, nice.
No!
Just like Toothboy dropping his bucket.
On probably it's gonna be on the timbers while we go down.
I wonder, I see this is all black and white imagery, but I wonder if it's obviously capturing tonality. So if you took a reference image and said, this is the color, and I want the computer, I want the software to go through and colorize everything based upon this sample base color, and then take the tonalities of black and white and create the color. Couldn't you do it in color? Maybe.
And this way we could be able to scan the whole chimney, which would be frankly amazing to do. And when we look at the surface, that spot here, it's the entrance of the Jefferson chimney.
Cheers, Charles.
And we don't see it well.
I'll have a sip of water
right now, but they align pretty well.
All right, today is day 4 of the mapping, and today we are headed down to a new level.
Hey, speaking of pouring and drinking, coming up next Friday, the brew is ready. My home brew is ready. I'm stoked for that. It's a stout as well. Looking forward to that this week. I'm working tomorrow early shift, so I'm not drinking anything. I've got to be in bed pretty early. I'm up at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Up at 2, 2:15, out at 3:15, start work at 4:15. I wonder if the geology of these mines, rock and mineral content. It's all silver, iron ore, isn't it? Oh, besides the gold and silver. Yeah, okay, I don't know.
To the 400 level. So what do you think of this level so far?
Well, I think we're going to be here at least 2 days. But no, it's a neat one. I'm really right now. I'm not able to do a picture in my head of all it's connected.
Yeah.
It looks like a labyrinth.
Yeah.
I'm really eager to put all of that back together to see. In front of a computer to have the big picture.
Yeah.
But it seems to be forever going in all directions.
There's only half of it so far.
Half of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I'm walking it, I remember that the 400 is much bigger than I remember. So this is going to be quite the excursion. As we made our way to the 400 level, Bruno asked me how much bigger the 400 was, and I estimated, the 400 is maybe twice the size of the 86. And upon our arrival and looking around, that was definitely not the case. I think that the 400 is at least 3 or 4 times bigger than the 86, and I could kind of see the stress in Bruno and the team as realizing that we were down to 6 or 7 days, which might seem a lot, but given how long it took the 86, it was a big question mark whether we were going to get through the 400 or not.
Okay, but when we started, the tunnels were a little bit all over the place, following out veins. Here, it's really access tunnel, utility tunnels, so they're way easier to map, but at the same time, there's a crazy amount of them.
Yeah.
When you say, it's twice the size, it's about 3 to 4 times.
Yeah, at least probably.
So we'll do the same thing, but it's easier to do, just more work. So we're gonna get going, and we took some food with us.
Yeah, he is French Canadian from Quebec. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he also looks a little nervous. I was going to say, I think he's a bit nervous in front of Toothboy.
Here the whole day and radioing from time to time to make sure that everyone is safe.
Yeah. What do you think? You think it's possible to map this level?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But the time that
he's also got a big light blaring him in his face. It's never quite fun when you're in a dark mine and you've got this big spotlight. All you could probably see is this light and a camera lens maybe just behind it.
And the pace at which we are able to do the straight tunnels or the good tunnels, we're going to be able to do it.
And as the scans of the 400 progressed, I think the biggest limitation to LiDAR 3D scanning became evident to me. and that's in the usability.
I'm looking
You know, the
looking forward to
scanners-
Elf's Paris vacation videos. Is he going to edit those down? Is he? Nice one.
have progressed so much to be able to capture so much data with each scan that there isn't a good way to process that data. You know, Bruno.
How many will there be? We could maybe watch them here, like we do with Toothboy, a little every now and then.
Using a computer with the fastest video games chip he could, the computer would still crash after very small segments of this scan. And so I think as the technology for the scanners has accelerated so much, the technology for the processing of that is kind of lagging behind. And I imagine over the coming years, that problem's gonna get solved. But it's one of those problems that going into it, I never realized. I never thought that, oh, what do we do with these billions of points of data once we have them? But it's definitely something that became more and more clear as the model continued to grow.
We are at day 8. We've done the 86 level completely. We've stitched pretty much everything up there. And now at the 400 level, we passed a few days now in the 400, and we have done about 500 LiDAR scans so far. The 400 is almost done. We have 3 tunnels that we want to finish. We hope that we're going to be able to finish today because we're leaving tomorrow. So that's going to be, we're going to see this this evening. Yesterday was a big day. We went into the mine for 12 hours. And we're trying to do, probably we're going to be doing the same thing today. Maybe more, maybe less. Depends on the equipment. If we have no equipment failure, that's going to be great. And we should be able to finish the 400 level.
I wonder how that thing stores the data on an SD card or something. You just take it out and dump it across, or has it got a little SSD in there?
And in the end, the team pulled it off. It was at the twilight hours of the 10th day, but we got the 86 and the 400 level scanned. And in the excitement and the lateness of the completion, we weren't able to review it in person. And so I had to wait a few days until Bruno and team could go back home, process the data, and we could review it from there.
Okay, now we've got the recording.
All right. Good to see everybody again. Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of the result of it all. I know that seeing it in patches is one thing, but the glimpses that I've seen so far look pretty sweet. And so I'm excited to see it all kind of tied together. Wow, there it is. That is cool. And I think seeing the data laid out by Bruno just brought that initial excitement back. You know, the idea that we just created this data set that people can build upon in the future.
But Bishop's wasn't the end of the multi-year journey to map this mine. Coincidentally, very shortly after they left, I heard from a company called Leica that had been talking to me for the last couple of years about their scanners that are made for ease of use. You know, in this case, it's a scanner that you literally hold in front of you and walk through the mines. And after going through these 10 days and seeing the tripod be moved and having everything stitched together, I was very curious how kind of the other end of the technology spectrum.
Well, I wonder what Bruno feels of this. Well, you got another team in to do a job better than me. I spent 10 days there, and then you bring in these other yahoos.
Work these days. And so with that, 2 guys from Leica came up.
Yeah, but it's an amazing time to be alive with all this tech. Yeah, absolutely. And I got a little tech that arrived today, which I'll tell you about once we finish this, but it's going to be interesting.
And we went back to work.
This is my main product, this along with the BLK2 Go that Matt's holding there. So this is all autonomy, right? This is, it's got GNSS RTK correction. It's no payload, pure LiDAR with cameras. So what you get is you get LiDAR and you get panoramic images. You're not flying, 150, 200 feet above the ground. You're flying about 15 to 20 feet from the subject, from a building facade or the ground. Autonomy, why is this autonomous? Because it's got radar, and then LiDAR for about a 1.5 meter bubble of protection, of obstacle avoidance. So basically with the controller, do a polygonal fence, hit go, stand back and let it do the rest.
I have both the BLK 360 Generation 2, G2, and the BLK to Go. Today we're going to be using the BLK to Go to scan the mine shaft. and the laterals as much as we can.
Yeah, this is cool tech, right? Fully.
But basically what this is the easiest little scanner to use. You're turn it on, start walking, and you're collecting point cloud data and imagery. So we'll be able to map at walking speed, getting to the small crevices that the larger scanners might not be able to get to, and come out with hopefully the majority of the mine shaft.
Beautiful point cloud.
Yeah. And then this guy is the G2. We've utilized this in the structures and interiors to get a little bit more accuracy. Some of the larger machinery back there, this is a little bit better for because the data is one, more accurate, you can get more density, so it works out really well.
Heading down into the mine with Frank and Matt, I was hesitantly optimistic. You know, they told me they only had one day. They were carving out a little bit of time at the end of a conference they were going to in Las Vegas, and they said, we're gonna go map as much as we can. And I was coming off of this recent experience of spending 10 days and getting 2 levels of the mine done. So I was like, you know, how much could we possibly do in just, you know, a day or a half a day even? But they promised me that, listen, this is what our stuff is made for. It's made of ease of use, ease of information processing. So I wanted to see what it was all about. And I would say that very quickly, it was clear how much easier the Leica scanner is. You know, you can walk pretty much just at the pace of your normal walk, and in real time, you're watching on your phone as it's rendering the information. There's no stitching it together after the fact. And I was blown away. You know, the 86 level, which we spent 2.5 days on before with the Faro, we were able to do in just under an hour. So I would say at least 10, if not 20 times faster. So
it must have a pretty, it must go quite far, like distance-wise, to be able to point it down into that Jefferson Tunnel thing.
Now we're going to the 400.
Yeah, right on, Dale. Competition drives innovation. Build the proverbial better mousetrap. Yeah. There's probably a company that's doing it better than these guys as well. There's a third or a fourth and a fifth.
Real test, because that's a much bigger level. And so again, that took us 6.5 days or something to that effect when we were using the tripod system. So let's head down there, see how long it takes for that one as well. We're going to start to the right over here. Or to the left, sorry. I'll let you pass by me, but we'll just go straight. It's pretty straight. That's cool. All right, so we just finished up the 400 with the Leica scanner. It was about less than 2 hours, which compared to 6 days was a big difference. Now we're down to 550. First time mapping this level, so excited to see how long this one takes, and then we're going to take the shaft down and connect the shaft, so exciting stuff.
This doesn't seem to have as many data points though. I think like the other one seemed to be a little bit more, like the tunnels were a bit more defined, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, it's mapping it good. Wow. That's really cool that you can see it in real time.
Mm-hmm. It saves a lot of frustration at the end because you don't go to the office and you're like, oh.
Yeah. It's almost like humans are getting godlike in what we can observe and know. Right.
How'd it go?
Went excellent. So I did most of the, in fact, I did all of the BLK to fly above ground scanning.
Mm-hmm.
Matt did all of the below ground scanning. He'll hit that as soon as I'm done with my little summary. But I scanned not the entire town, but the main part of the town, including the
Imagine this tech inside
hotel.
the human body on a micro scale, right? For doctors trying to find like problematic parts of the body, for sure, man. I mean, they've had that for years, though, haven't they? Those micro endoscopes and stuff.
With the BLK to fly. I'm going to combine my data with Matt's data because it's all just a point cloud, right? It'll be like one big giant data set that you and all your guys can look at. So we've got this online, it's free viewer, but it's not just a viewer. You can measure and take sections. It's called Reality Cloud Studio, and everybody could view and even create little fly-throughs for themselves. Measure,
awesome.
view, slice it.
That'd be great.
Yes, so Matt.
Cool, yeah, so Brent and I went down the shaft and managed to... the main shaft and managed to scan with the BLK to go, 86, 400,
and 550.
and then we went all the way down and scanned the remainder of the shafts.
So yeah, this one's interesting. I don't know. I feel like I like the other one a bit better. I had an endoscopy a couple of years ago, camera inside my stomach and intestines. Wow.
So we have those levels plus the entire shaft from top to bottom. And then on our way out, Frank and I are going to attempt to finish up scanning the road.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And so that is it. That is where the 3D mapping of Cerro
Wait, where can we
Union
see
Mine
it, though?
stands. And I think like all history, this is going to be something that just keeps getting built upon, as it's been built upon already over the last few years here.
So you got it
which
in
is
the
why
description?
I'm really excited to get this out there. You know, I think somebody out there has a way to take this data and create something very cool. You know, I'm gonna link below to the data sets we have so far. You know, I'd love to figure out a way that we could have it even easier for somebody to walk through the mines or interact with them. Maybe a way to 3D print the mine that we have so far, so visitors up here, you know, can look at it and truly understand the extent of the mine system that's underneath the town. You know, all of these things are possible now that we have this data set, and I think being very collaborative with it is going to lead to some really exciting results. I just have to thank everybody that was involved, you know, from Elizabeth, Bruno, Roderick, Henry from Bishop's University, you know, then we had Matt and Frank from Leica, all the way back to Ren from the Corridor crew, Chris from Polycam, you know, everybody kind of helped this dream become a reality, as well as all of you. You know, all of you made this possible too. You know, the continued interest in this town allows me to do these cool things, to do things that will hopefully preserve the history here for future generations. So I gotta say thank you to all of you as well. These last 4 years have just been amazing, and I feel like there's a lot of really cool things in store, not just for this 3D mapping information, but for the town in whole. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you then.
I'm just having a play around with it while he was waffling on there. But here is the asset in the cloud, Reality Cloud Studio. So I'm just clicking and dragging. It's use arrows to move, scroll or click to fly to a location. I mean, it's pretty unique, right? Let's get down into the mine. Can we just look up now? So now we're looking back up the shaft to the outside. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit odd. Let's look down the shaft. It's kind of blocky and a little bit Minecrafty. The kids will love it though. What's this? Dollhouse mesh. Mesh. Point cloud. So there are the sample points. The mesh looks... Yeah, okay. I've seen large-scale maps of the known universe. Looks a lot like the human brain. Neurons interconnecting. That's incredible, yeah. What are all these features? Artifacts, points, geotags, tours. What are tours? Can we just play the tour? Here we go. I mean, that's interesting. It's plotting it in 3D space via a drone. And then you can come back in and manipulate it. So that's pretty cool. I would say that this is groundbreaking, but just looking at it from a visual perspective, I don't think it's quite there yet. Like you know, it doesn't look like it's fully finished developing yet. It's just a little bit blocky and a little bit heinous. But I did mention some tech that came my way today. Let me just go and grab it. This will be interesting for the streams coming up. So I already had received this unit. In here is well, actually not all of them are here right now, but this is a Rode Wireless Go 3. This is the transmitter. The receivers I'm using them for something else, but so this little device is a microphone basically, and you wear it on your lapel. And then the receiving unit can be 200 meters away and blah, blah, blah. So that's rad. So then I already had a lapel mic that I waterproofed using a method I learned online, how to waterproof a lapel mic. So this is ready to be worn on my wetsuit, on the lapel, where you would normally put a lapel mic in there. And this end goes into, turn this off. This end will go into here. And then this device is going to be worn in this, which came today. This is a insulin pouch for those that need those, I guess it's diabetics that need insulin pumped into the system all the time. This means they can wear it while they're swimming at the pool. So it's got a slot for this to fit in, obviously. And then there's also a wire, there's like a release for the wire. So this can all be waterproofed. And then this just wears around my waist, sits on the back of the lower part of my back. And the front is obviously just flush because it just clips together. And then so that's just on the front so that you can still surf. And so that means I will have the ability to have a microphone on while I'm surfing, and that microphone feeds back into the receiving unit, which will be on the beach on the LiveView Solo, on the Solo shot, the tracking camera. So we'll be able to live stream, because that has a live stream feature, sends an RTMP signal out, or even just the HDMI out straight into the LiveView Solo. So I can live stream an entire surf session and talk to you guys while streaming. I obviously won't see a chat, but I can at least have audio. And that way you can come.
This is sick.
This is sick. You guys can come on a surfing trip, like literally, because I remember people ask me, why can't you do a live stream from surfing? And I was saying, well, the only reason I can't do that is because, well, there's no audio, so it'd be pretty tedious. Have you tested it already? Well, I've tested the microphone in water. I've tested that. I tested it in there. It's not plugged in right now, but that's how I tested it, and it works. Yeah, and there's no reason why this won't work. It's a water sealed unit made for insulin. It all connects together, and then these little seals go through, and there's a little hole there for the wire. It's all padded down together nicely. And in there, I'll also include, in the pouch, will also go the GPS tracker that I usually wear on my armband for the solo shot to track it. So yeah, that's coming up. Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Pretty excited for that. And yeah, I guess the main cost involved in that will be starting to pay for the monthly Starlink service, because that's where the money comes, right? So when we're ready to do this, I'm going to say, look, I'll pay for the first month, and then I'll put up a donation on the streams and say, if you want this to happen again next month, after the 30 days of this usage is up, here's the donation that we can all contribute to. And then if we keep rolling over the next month, I'll keep, and then we go out, because that same tech, or the bulk of that tech, I'll be using in GoVan, because these microphones, someone said to me, what you need to do when you get to a campsite it's all great setting the camera up and then you go off and wander around. But if you don't have a mic on, you go out of the range of the mic and we can't hear you. So I'll be able to wear these on, set the camera up, and then can still be on mic the whole time. Yeah, but this is sick. And I'm pretty damn excited by all the
Hey
tech
guys,
that's
I
coming.
hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.